Hey guys, and welcome to World of Warships with Voulez-Vous. In today's replay I want to show you a very cool Gremyashchy game. Gremyashchy is a tier 5 Russian premium destroyer which I got in the closed beta, and it is a sister ship to the tier 5 Gnevny destroyer. They are almost identical, and I'm just gonna pull up some stats on the screen just to show you what the main differences are. The Gremyashchy has got slightly less hit points than the Gnevny, and the Gremyashchy's torpedoes are much slower than the Gnevny's. On the other hand, it has double the torpedo range, which is 8 kilometers. And both of those ships have got an 11.9 base range, as in base with all the upgrades on the Gnevny, of course. And this is a really good range, and you can still boost it even more with the 4th Captain's perk. Another thing to keep in mind here is the maximum damage of the AP shells, which you will be using very often in the Gremyashchy, and that is 2,500. Yeah, this ship is featuring the 130mm guns that are pretty much prevalent almost throughout the whole of the Russian destroyer line. You will be using those guns all the way to tier 10, and they just slice cruiser armor like butter if they give you their broadside. But let's get back to the battle. So as you could see, I've engaged the engine boost straight away, and I've decided to move north. I was expecting the enemy destroyers to start contesting the B cap, and I wanted to get some points first, capping points, basically to get some more experience. So I'm almost at the A cap now. As you can see, this is quite a fast destroyer. This destroyer 41.8 knots, and this is when the enemy ship starts showing up. So I quickly switched to armor piercing because it is a Kuma, which is really easy to penetrate with armor piercing rounds, and I get the citadel hit on the first volley. Another shot, no citadel this time, and the Kuma hides behind the island. But together with the other Kuma that's slightly behind, they managed to reset my capping efforts, and I'm almost back to square one. And again, right, so now I know that there is a Kuma to the north. There's another one slightly behind it, so I'm thinking I need to use that island to my right as cover. So I switch guns to the left side using the Control X. The turret rotation on the Gremyashchy and the Gnevny is quite challenging. You need to plan ahead in order to be fully prepared to shoot. So basically you need to plan ahead and know which side of the ship you want your guns to be on. I shot a couple of shots across the Kuma, and I quickly switched to HE the moment I spot the Isokaze that is really close to me. And as you can see, I really need to limit my turning here, because if I was to make a hard turn, the gun rotation would not be fast enough to actually keep the guns aligned on target. So if a tip for you, if you're sailing either the Gnevny or the Gremyashchy, if you are engaging somebody with your guns and you know that you have to make a turn, try to do a half turn only using the Q and E key if you haven't remapped them yet, and basically that will allow you to make that turn without worrying and still be able to track your targets with your guns. So the Kuma comes out from behind the island again, and this is the 4th citadel already since it did come out. 5th citadel, and the Kuma's dead. This is just how easy it is to kill cruisers with those guns. So I kind of lost the situational awareness here for a moment, and I almost managed to sail into this island, so I quickly dropped speed, made a hard turn, and the fact that I slowed down made the ship turn even tighter, and that's how I avoided this. So since I'm going south, I spotted that enemy destroyer popping in and out of smoke, so again HE loaded, and I opened up. That was the first blind shot, and I actually managed to score a hit, but now I'm waiting for the destroyer to show up again so that I could update my aim. And the flames coming from the destroyer's funnels are an obvious indication that the engine on the destroyer is dead. So he's dead in the water. There's a Furutaka coming in there, so I'm thinking, okay, I don't really need to go in there because the Furutaka most likely is going to kill that destroyer before I get there. So for the moment, briefly I consider that Kuma to be my next target, but I'm just not close enough. And since I am training a new captain on this destroyer right now, I did not have the 4th captain spec on it yet, so I'm only down to the basic range, I think. So it seems that the enemy destroyer has survived much longer than I was expecting, and I'm just about to shoot when the Furutaka takes him out. Okay, so situational awareness. We managed to kill 3 ships. Our team is still untouched, and it seems that my next target should be the Omaha. There's simply nothing else within my range, so quickly change to AP and start showing the Omaha. But unfortunately, I get a bit unlucky with the shots, and they all land at the wrong moments, or when the Omaha is already too angled. So I keep the AP, and I believe that this was a misplay. I should have already switched to HE at this point. The Omaha seems to be sailing towards the island, so yeah, it looks like it's gonna beach itself in an angle that is basically impossible to penetrate for me with AP. So I should have switched, and that is an honest mistake. I should have done this much earlier. So the Omaha is stuck now, so he's gonna be reversing, so that gives me a chance of torpedoing him. And that's the moment where I notice that I'm just about to run aground, and I quickly pop smoke because I know that destroyer that is stationary is basically a dead destroyer. So I'm counting on the fact that the Omaha will be shooting blindly in the smoke in the place where he last saw me, so kind of slightly to the front, and he's doing it right now. And he's just about to run into my torpedoes, so basically it's just a formality now. I just need to wait, and that's the Omaha gone. So seems that I'm gonna have to stay in this smoke for a couple of seconds longer because the enemy carrier, there's 2 of them in this game, decided to torpedo me blindly with a manual drop. Okay, so now that I see the enemy carrier popping in, I shoot it quickly. I set it on fire with the first volley, and even though it wasn't HE, the second volley has managed a citadel hit. And now let's check out the citadel galore that I'm about to embark on. Second citadel. Third, and this is just keeps on going. Remember, when you're aiming at carriers, there are 3 points which you should be looking for. One will be the central point that I'm actually just shelling right now. That's where the engine room is. You also got the propulsion at the back, slightly lower, and also the right front of the aircraft carrier. So now the Bog was dead, so I'm moving on to the next target, which is the enemy Langley. And Langley is really difficult to avoid torpedoes, and it's a very slow ship, so I quickly launched those 2 spreads, and I basically know that the Langley is dead already, but I just keep on shooting him for my own entertainment. So there you go, that's a really quick battle now. 90,000 damage, 4 kills, 15 citadels, and that last kill gave me a Confederate and a Devastating Strike award. And we're 9 points away from finishing the game. And that's it. So let's move on to the final battle result screen. So as you can see, 462,000 of profit and nearly 10,000 of experience. This is basically due to the fact that I'm using that special camouflage that I was given on achieving rank 1 in this season of ranked battles. Moving on to the awards, First Blood, Confederate and Devastating Strike. 85 hits on target with my guns, 4 torpedo hits, something that I don't usually count on when sailing the Russian destroyers. I killed 4 ships, and the best thing is those 15 citadel hits that you see at the bottom of the screen here. And that 10,000 experience is basically just under 2,200 base, and that also gives me the first place on my team. Damage wise, this was a pretty decent game for me. I managed to do quite a lot of damage, mainly with my AP shells, as you can see. And the whole game took 10 minutes and 50 seconds, so yeah, that's quite a lot of damage dealt per minute. As I said before, the Gremyashchy is a premium ship, which basically means that on top of the fact that it's making a lot of money, the maintenance cost of that ship are really low, so just check it out. The auto repair and ammunition auto resupply cost me just over 10,000 silver, which is excellent. So basically the majority of the money that I managed to earn in this battle are going straight to my Zao fund, because that's the ship that I'm saving up for at the moment. So that will be all for this really short replay. I just wanted to showcase the effectiveness of the AP rounds on the Russian destroyer, the tier 5 destroyer. I really think it's an excellent ship. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and maybe even learned something in the process. And if you did, please give this video a rating down below. So for now, I say thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you on the open seas. Broadside. But let's get back to the battle. So as you could see, I've engaged the engine boost straight away, and I decided to move north. I was expecting the enemy destroyers to start contesting the B cap, and I wanted to get some points first, capping points, basically to get some more experience. So I'm almost at the A cap now. As you can see, this is quite a fast destroyer, 41.8 knots, and this is when the enemy ships start showing up. So I quickly switched to armor piercing, because it is a Kuma, which is really easy to penetrate with armor piercing rounds. And I get the citadel hit on the first volley. Another shot, no citadel this time, and the Kuma hides behind the island. But together with the other Kuma that's slightly behind, they managed to reset my capping efforts, and I'm almost back to square one. And again. And again. Right, so now I know that there is a Kuma to the north. There's another one slightly behind it, so I'm thinking I need to use that island to my right as cover. So I switch guns to the left side using the Control X. The turret rotation on the Gremyashchy and the Gnevny is quite challenging. You need to plan ahead in order to be fully prepared to shoot. So basically you need to plan ahead and know which side of the ship you want your guns to be on. Hey guys, and welcome to World of Warships with Voulez-vous. In today's replay I want to show you a very cool Gremyashchy game. Gremyashchy is a Tier 5 Russian premium destroyer which I got in the closed beta, and it is a sister ship to the Tier 5 Gnevny destroyer. They are almost identical, and I'm just gonna pull up some stats on the screen just to show you what the main differences are. The Gremyashchy has got slightly less hit points than the Gnevny, and the Gremyashchy's torpedoes are much slower than the Gnevny's. On the other hand, it has double the torpedo range, which is 8 kilometers. And both of those ships have got an 11.9 base range, as in base with all the upgrades on the Gnevny, of course. And this is a really good range, and you can still boost it even more with the 4th Captain's perk. Another thing to keep in mind here is the maximum damage of the AP shells, which you will be using very often in the Gremyashchy, and that is 2,500. Yeah, this ship is featuring the 130mm guns that are pretty much prevalent almost throughout the whole of the Russian destroyer line. You will be using those guns all the way to tier 10, and they just slice cruiser armor like butter if they give you it. I shot a couple of shots across the Kuma, and I quickly switched to HE the moment I spot the Isokaze that is really close to me. And as you can see, I really need to limit my turning here, because if I was to make a hard turn, the gun rotation would not be fast enough to actually keep the guns aligned on target. So if a tip for you, if you're sailing either the Gnevny or the Gremyashchy, if you are engaging somebody with your guns and you know that you have to make a turn, try to do a half turn only, using the Q and E key if you haven't remapped them yet. And basically that will allow you to make that turn without worrying and still be able to track your targets with your guns. So the Kuma comes out